Thank you, Rob. This is good. This is good. We're all out here. We're all dressed up. This is the meeting of Jim's dreams. We're all wearing ties and everything. This is nice. Before we get started, I want to take this opportunity to thank Yale for putting this all thing together. Let's give Yale a big round of applause. Yale's always so happy, probably because he has all that hair. And I will apologize in advance if all these lights are reflecting back on you. When I was a teenager, about 13 or 14 years old, and I grew up in Savannah, Georgia, there was a guy that lived across the street from me named Robbie Cribb. Now, Robbie was a little bit older than I was, and he was this tall, athletic guy. And I really looked up to Robbie. I wanted to do a lot of the stuff that Robbie could do. And Robbie would talk me into doing some crazy things. He'd say, "Come on, Richie, just try it. Come on, Richie, just try it." He came up with an idea one time to tie a rope to a bicycle and ride it off the end of the dock at low tide. See, at low tide, the dock was about 12 feet above the mud. And I still remember sitting on that bicycle, looking down the dock, staring at the end of the dock like it's the end of the Grand Canyon. And I'm thinking, I'm Evel Knievel, right? Except I'm scared to death. I'm thinking, there's no way in the world I can ride this bike off the end of that dock. Well, Robbie said, "Come on, Richie, just try it." Well, eventually I start taking off. I built up some speed. I hit the end of the dock, went flying through the air, smack right into the mud. Then we used the rope to pull the bike up out of the mud, and we did it over and over and over again. We were covered in mud. Well, this is before I went to the Navy, and my knot tying skills weren't so great. And the rope eventually came untied. And I swear that bike must have sunk all the way up to its seat post. And Robbie and I worked and tried to get the bike out of the mud. But the tide was coming in. There's no way in the world we're going to get that bike out of the mud. As far as I know, that bike is still down there today. Oh, I might have forgotten to mention, we used my little brother's bicycle. There's no way I would use my own bike for that. See, Robbie Cribb was a combination of Eddie Haskell from Leave It to Beaver and MacGyver. He'd come up with these crazy ideas, and he'd talk me into doing it. And most of these ideas did not work out so well. And I usually paid the price for it. My mom was blind in one eye. But somehow or another, she always seemed to see every stupid thing that we would do. And she'd say, "Richie, you better watch out for that Robbie Cribb. He's going to get you killed." And then I'd be grounded. We had another friend, Joe Susevich. And Joe Susevich was the first one of us to get our driver's license, which is a big deal. One day, Robbie and I see Joe Susevich's car coming down the road. And Robbie thought it would be hilarious if we jumped out of the woods and mooned him. And it would have been hilarious if Joe's mom wasn't driving the car that day. That one got me grounded really good. And I'm still trying to figure out how in the world she recognized me. We've all seen those Nike commercials with their "Just Do It" slogan. You got those sweaty athletes working really hard to just do something. What those commercials don't tell you is before you can just do anything, there has to be a vulnerable moment in your life where you step outside your comfort zone and just try it. Just try it. The phrase alone pretty much implies there's a really good chance that it's not going to work out. Haven't we all had those moments in our lives where we just tried something and it didn't work? Or maybe it didn't work out as well as we hoped it would? It could have been a complete failure. Go ahead and think of some of these moments in your life where you just tried something and it didn't work. I know Jim had one not too long ago. He did that story about the Christmas tree, and he wasn't as prepared as he usually is. And Judy laid into him in his evaluation, didn't you? I had one not too long ago. I wanted to do that speech about the voting. I had this great idea. I wanted to start with that beautiful poem at the base of the Statue of Liberty. The only problem was I didn't remember all the words to that beautiful poem. And that beautiful poem's not so beautiful without all the words. And I had a cool PowerPoint presentation, except my computer had no power. Felt like a complete disaster. Felt like I completely failed. We've all had these humbling moments before where we feel like we've crashed and burned and failed. But something magical happens in these moments. We learn. We learn from our attempts. We learn from our mistakes. Some of us have a master's degree in mistakes, right? But if we're willing to just try it and make a few mistakes, eventually we broaden our horizons. And once we broaden our horizons, we can figure out just how far we can go. All of you are lucky to have found Toastmasters in general, but this club specifically, Rob talked about it earlier, this club has a connection that not too many clubs have. I've had the opportunity to go see a lot of other clubs, and they don't have the same energy that this club has. And it's that connection and that energy that makes this environment, makes it okay to get up here and just try something, to make a few mistakes, because that's how we learn. There's probably no other environment in your adult life where it's okay to make mistakes. You can get up here and make some mistakes and it doesn't affect your GPA or your resume. You can get up here and totally screw it up and it doesn't affect your salary, except for Monty. But we should be taking advantage of this environment. We should be getting over here, taking some risk, because that's how we learn. We've seen Tom Nixon's PowerPoint thingamajig, right? That's what we would call it, the Tom Nixon PowerPoint thingamajig. Tom, that's good stuff. It's really informative. Tom delivers it so well. He's poised, he's smooth, he's even a little bit funny. But do you know why that PowerPoint thing is so good? Because Tom spent years totally screwing it up. He would get up here and try just about anything. He'd try like this. He'd try like that. One time he even tried it like this and sang a song about it. But that's how he worked out how things worked and made it what it is today. There's a saying that says that if you're not making some mistakes, you're not putting forth enough effort. Tom put the effort to make that thing as good as it is. How about Rob Goodwin tonight? Let's give him a round of applause. He's done an amazing job. DJ talked about him being a scientist, right? Rob Goodwin is probably one of the smartest people in the entire club, which is arguably a low bar. But Rob used to mesmerize us with these technical presentations about sonic waves and how they affect our lives. And we'd nod our heads like we knew what he was talking about. But lately, Rob's got all this energy and enthusiasm. The other day I stopped him at one of the meetings. I said, Rob, what's gotten into you, man? You got all this emotion and enthusiasm. In typical Rob fashion, he goes, I don't know, I thought I'd try it. Well, let me tell you, Rob, it's working. It's working. Keep doing that. Keep pushing the envelope of what you can do, because that's how you get comfortable in the uncomfortable. If If you do that over and over again, you get comfortable doing the uncomfortable. And when you talk about somebody who's willing to do something over and over and over and over again, Jim Dawson, ladies and gentlemen. I know this is the part of the speech where I'm supposed to make some sort of joke about Jim's age, right? But I'm not going to do that tonight. I'm going to give him the night off just like DJ did. Because I truly feel bad about how old this guy is. Nobody should have to suffer that long. Meaning us, we shouldn't have to suffer this long. But Jim is a lifelong learner. He's always trying to develop his skills. He's always trying to learn new skills, because that's how you broaden your horizons. That's how you get better. So we've talked about being willing to make a few mistakes to broaden our horizons. But if we really want to figure out just how far we can go, we need some other people around us. And we need some of those cheerleaders that support and encourage us. But we need a few other people that we're fortunate to have them in this club, like AK and Kumar, Lisa, DJ, Yale. These guys remind me of Robbie Cribb. I look up to them and I want to be able to do the things that they can do. And if you listen to them in their evaluations and in their feedback, they're a lot like Robbie Cribb. They will talk you into doing some crazy things for your own good. I'll give you my personal story. Rob said I joined a little bit over 5 years ago. I was a brand new member, still trying to figure things out. And about 6 months into my membership, Judy Anderson came up to me and said, "How would you like to be the Sergeant at Arms?" And I said, "I'm not so sure about that. I don't think I can do it." See, when I joined, Sutam was our Sergeant at Arms. And we remember, Sutam would get up in front of the room, stand on his hands, and walk across the room to start the meetings, right? I could barely get up in front of the room and stand on my own feet without shaking to death. But Judy said, "Come on, Richie, just try it." And that one decision changed my entire experience with Toastmasters. I got more involved, and I got more committed. I started getting more out of Toastmasters because I was putting more into it. And I don't think I'd be here tonight giving this speech if Judy wouldn't have given me that little bit of a push to do more than I thought I could do. And I want to thank you, Judy. And I really hope I paid you back by nominating you to be the area director.
You did.
And you're doing an awesome job. Because that's what we do. We push each other to do more than we think we can do. Because if we really want to find out just how far we can go, sometimes you have to back up to what they call the ass-kicking machine. Right, Rob? I want to encourage every one of you, no matter how many speeches you've given, or whether you're just getting started, or whether you've given 100 speeches, you should be trying something that challenges you. If you've got some crazy idea in your head, whether you put it there or somebody else put it there for you, just try it. If you don't think it'll work, just try it. If you don't think you're ready or prepared enough, just try it. If you're not comfortable doing it, just try it. Find that inner kid inside you that doesn't worry about everything that could go wrong, and just try it for the experience of trying it. That's how you get better. That's how you broaden your horizons. That's how you find out just how far you can go. That's what Robbie Cribb taught me. To overcome my fear and just try something just for the experience of trying it. Robbie and I, as teenagers, we'd push ourselves to do things that we didn't think we could do. We'd also push the limits of what my mom's patience would allow. I remember I used to get in so much trouble. And I never had a good excuse. I'd say, well, Robbie was doing it. And that didn't go over very well. She'd say, if Robbie Cribb jumped off a bridge, would you do it too? Yeah. And I never had a good answer for that. I'd say, I don't know. But she'd ask that question over and over and over again. Probably because we did stupid stuff over and over and over again. And every time she'd catch us, she'd say, if Robbie Cribb jumped off a bridge, would you do it too? Well, as a rebellious teenager, that question really aggravated me. Then I realized there's two ways to get her to stop asking that question. Now, I'm not saying we chose the right one, but one day, Robbie Cribb jumped off the Turner's Creek Bridge. And I was right behind him. And it was awesome. Just try it. Right?